The death penalty, a capital punishment that could potentially affect each and every one of us at some point in our lives. I'm Paige Vincent, and today I will be talking about the death penalty, what side I have chosen, and why it matters in the first place. For many years, it has been debated whether the death penalty is unconstitutional or not. The Death Penalty Information Center explains the death penalty adversely affects both families of the murder victims and families of the accused. It is such an important and ongoing topic because of all the people that it could potentially affect. I have chosen the side that the death penalty might not, in fact, be the best option. It is argued that the death penalty is not constitutional for many reasons, but these three I have chosen in particular. It does not in fact lower crime rates at all. It demonstrates social injustices by wrongfully targeting minorities and people who cannot afford attorneys. And lastly, it is said that a lifetime in jail is more severe and not as costly as the death penalty. It does not in fact lower crime rates at all. Amnesty International states that by an overwhelming majority that the death penalty has no deterrent effect. They felt the same way over 10 years ago and nothing has changed over time. States without the death penalty continue to have significantly lower murder rates than those that retain capital punishment. So there is in fact no evidence that this capital punishment lowers crime rates at all, which is what it was made for in the first place. So is it in fact the best option? It demonstrates social injustices by wrongfully targeting minorities and those who cannot afford attorneys. The American Civil Liberties Union expresses the color of a defendant and the victim's skin plays a crucial and unacceptable role in deciding who receives the death penalty in America. People of color have accounted for a disproportionate 43% of total executions since 1976, and 55% of those currently awaiting execution. It is said that the death penalty targets the most vulnerable people. People who cannot afford an attorney are appointed one by the state. And these are the people who end up being convicted of their crime because they really don't have anyone in their corner. Like the people who are able to afford an attorney and are able to speak to that person and develop a relationship with them. So they have someone in their corner. A lifetime in jail is more severe and not as costly as the death penalty. A Susquehanna University report found that on average across all 50 states, a death row inmate costs $1.12 million more than a general population inmate. In July 2018, there were 2,738 inmates on death row. That's almost $3 billion additional expense than if they had all been sentenced to life in prison instead. Overall, the government would save a substantial amount of money by switching people on death row to a lifetime in prison without parole. People who believe that the death penalty should be in place state that families feel better if the criminal that killed their loved one is in fact gone. And although this may be true, I feel as if a life in a prison cell is more brutal than a simple injection. In summary, the death penalty might be something we as a nation should reconsider. Studies show that the punishment does not lower crime rates, it targets minorities and people who cannot afford attorneys, and a lifetime in prison is shown to be more severe and not as costly as the death penalty. So should we reconsider practicing the death penalty? I do think so. Thank you.